Hey guys, what's up? It's Christina and welcome back to another English lesson here with English with Christina. If this is your first time here and you want to get weekly English video lessons, then go ahead and click on the subscribe button below and on that little bell that notifies you when a new lesson becomes available. So today's lesson is going to be a little bit different. I am going to teach you guys some common American English idioms or phrases, but in doing so, there's also going to be a bit of listening practice and listening comprehension practice because I want to talk to you guys today about what some of you guys have asked me on my channel, which is why I haven't posted in over a year on YouTube and for such a long time on Facebook, even though now I am back and I am posting. So in doing so, I get to teach you guys some new idioms. So the first reason why I left is what I try to tell many of you guys not to do, and that is to burn yourself out. To burn yourself out or to feel burnt out means to be doing so many different things that it's just too much. It becomes so much, you become overwhelmed and you feel as if you just can't do it anymore. So this was something that I was feeling for a long time when I first started my YouTube channel. Even though this definitely isn't a huge YouTube channel at the moment, I was still feeling very burnout because I was teaching a full-time job. I have 2 children that I was being a mother to, taking care of a home, the cooking, the cleaning, all of that. And on top of that, I was teaching extra English hours on top of my full-time job and then trying to make YouTube videos. So all in all, I was probably working a full-time job in the United States is 40 hours a week, and I was probably working about 65 to 70 hours a week if you consider everything. And when I say working, that just means the full-time job and the English lessons and content creation. That doesn't include the job of being a parent or taking care of a home, which is also work. And that's something that requires a lot of time and energy and effort. So I, therefore, was feeling very burnt out, and it got to the point where I started feeling as though I was in a cycle, this vicious cycle that I couldn't get out of. We call this a hamster wheel in English. You know, hamsters, they're like those little mice, and when they get on a wheel, when they're somebody's pet and they're in a cage, they have a wheel so that they can get exercise. So they're going over and over and over and over, but they're never actually going anywhere. So this is kind of where I felt like I was coming from and what was happening. So I felt as though I was on a hamster wheel and I didn't really feel like I was able to give my YouTube videos or my Facebook content or anything like that the creative attention that it deserved. After a while, I just became in a spot where I really wasn't in a good place to make creative content because I was so burnt out and exhausted. So then after a while, when you start losing your creativity, especially if you're a content creator or a teacher or anything, you start losing your zest for life in a sense, your excitement about life, and you start to feel really drained and just overwhelmed again and exhausted. And you also start to lose your touch. Lose your touch basically means to lose or feel as though you're losing your skill or your talent in something. So you don't feel that you are as good as you used to be. And so I definitely felt this way with almost every aspect of my life. So this was a challenging time and I really needed to withdraw and take a step back to just concentrate and think about what it was I needed to do in order to give you guys better content and create better content and make better videos for you guys. So in doing so, after I did that, eventually I ended up buying a home, which is wonderful. That's where we are now. And I also quit my job. It was difficult to do because I felt like I was between a rock and a hard place. Between a rock and a hard place just means where you feel stuck. You feel like if you do this, then something bad might happen. But if you do this, something else, then something else bad might happen. So you're stuck and you don't really know what to do. you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, which is how I was feeling. So it really wasn't clear to me what I needed to do, and so I really had to do some soul searching. I needed to take some time and get some things off my plate. I already had too many things on my plate. So again, I didn't even mean to throw that expression in there, but when you have too many things on your plate, it's that you're doing too much. And you're trying to do this and trying to do this and trying to do that. And you're just putting things on your plate and trying to do too many things. And eventually that plate becomes very heavy and you might drop it. So this is how I felt, that I had way too many things on my plate and it just wasn't going to work out. But I didn't know what to do to make it better. So that's why I needed to take a year to basically stop posting content and to really just get a feel for how I wanted to be a better teacher, I guess you could say, and what exactly I wanted to do with everything. So this is why I feel really strongly about when some of my students ask me, well, Christina, what can I do to be a better not a better teacher, but a better student? How can I learn English faster? What can I do to improve? My vocabulary is terrible. My pronunciation is terrible. My writing is terrible. We all have this really big sense of self-criticism inside ourselves. And I shouldn't say all of us. All of us don't have this, but a lot of us do. And we really need to get rid of that. Whether we're learning a language or trying to improve as a parent or in our careers or family life relationships, we just need to get rid of that inner criticism because it blocks us from doing our best job. And so many of my students who come to me and who tell me these things, that their writing isn't good and their speaking isn't good, they actually really are very good, much better than what they think. And I'm seeing this even in kids who are telling me, oh, no, it's not good. I'm very terrible at this, or things like that. And it almost breaks my heart a little bit because I don't like to see people criticizing themselves, especially when they are incredibly talented in something. And I guess I needed to take my own advice a little bit and just kind of figure out what exactly I was going to do and to stop criticizing myself because I felt as though I had too many things on my plate. So after that happened, I spent a year just kind of figuring out what I needed to do. I was still working at my job, but I ended up leaving it. Thank goodness. And I all of a sudden started feeling a lot better. It wasn't an easy thing to do at all. Often the right thing to do isn't easy, but it was something that for me, I had to do it because it was so stressful to the point where it was actually affecting my physical health. And if you don't have your physical health, then that should always be, in my opinion, your top priority. So I left my job, ended up buying a house, and resumed teaching more students, teaching English students, but then I also had a lot of people asking me for Spanish lessons, so I ended up teaching Spanish as well. And that opened up kind of a whole other world for me. And once I was able to filter through and get rid of things that I didn't need in my life, things that I didn't need to be doing, and make some changes that I needed to make, then it was all of a sudden that the things that were before as clear as mud, there's another expression for you, clear as mud obviously means it is not clear, because is mud clear? No, it's not. So things that were previously as clear as mud were now crystal clear. So they were incredibly clear. And I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and I wanted to come back and I wanted to teach you guys and also continue with my English and my Spanish lessons, which I'm currently doing today. And then, of course, all the other things that come with a personal life, you know, family, home, all of those different things. And it's honestly been one of the best things that I've ever done. I feel a lot happier and in a much better place creatively to give you guys better content and improve and just be there for you as a better teacher. So even though I felt like I was going back to the drawing board a little bit because I hadn't been on social media for so long, I think I only was posting to Instagram only occasionally, once in a while, and even still my Instagram is more so about my personal life rather than learning English or English content. So I had gone back to the drawing board, which basically means you start from square one. Well, I can't say that because that's another expression too. So to go back to the drawing board basically means to go back to what you're doing, to the plans of what you were doing, the foundation of what you were doing, and figuring out a plan from there. It's kind of like starting over in a sense. And starting from square one means to start from the very beginning. So in a way, that was how it felt, and in a way that is what it is. And so anyway, I did want to share with you guys why I haven't been active on YouTube for over a year. Again, even though, you know, my channel isn't huge by any means, it is still something that I know is important to some of you because you guys have asked me about it, whether in comments or messages or things like that. So that is why. But the good news is that now, moving forward, there will be weekly English video lessons. I don't know exactly what day of the week. Maybe at some point I'll be able to tell you guys, hey, every Monday there will be an English lesson, or every Tuesday or Wednesday, or whatever it may be. But for right now, suffice it to say, which means let it be enough for me to say that there will be weekly English video lessons here on YouTube. So I definitely hope to see you guys here. And I also hope that this was helpful for all of you in being able to learn more expressions and idioms that you can use in your daily conversation to help you feel more confident as a speaker, because that is truly the goal here. I really do want you to be able to feel more confident and to not feel terrible or horrible or whatever it is that you feel less than excellent in your speaking or your pronunciation or your vocabulary or whatever it may be. Remember, and I say this so often that I probably sound like a broken record. There's another expression that I didn't even mean to put in there, but a broken record basically means that you're repeating yourself over and over and over again. If you think of those records that people used to play a long time ago before we had digital music, then when there's a scratch on it or something like that, then it just repeats itself over and over and over again. So that's what it means to sound like a broken record. So I probably sound like a broken record, but this is a journey. And it's not something that you are going to be fluent in tomorrow. It's not something that you are, you just follow this exact step-by-step process and then you will be fluent in 60, 90 days or 1 year or anything like that. Everybody's journey is different. And in order to feel better about your journey, be patient with yourself and be kind to yourself. And obviously it goes without saying, but be kind to others as well, because we are all in a different spot in our language journey. And as someone who has learned to speak another language entirely, the best advice that I can give you, like I said, is to enjoy the journey and find what you love about it. Find the way that you love to learn. Of course, find people that you can talk to. That is a given. But find what you love about English or any language that you're learning. Maybe you're learning French too, or Arabic or Mandarin, I don't know, whatever it is. Then just find that one thing that you really gravitate to, because life is short, you guys. And honestly, the most important thing here is that we are happy and that we are doing things that we enjoy. Of course, we all have things that we have to do too, but hopefully we can at least find a way to enjoy all of those things. So anyway, that was my little tidbit for today and my little bit of listening practice. Hopefully I wasn't rambling too much, and if you are new to the channel and you want weekly English lessons, then go ahead and click subscribe down below and click on that little bell and you will get those notifications for the weekly English video lessons. Other than that, you guys, I hope that you all have a wonderful week, and again, like I said, just a little reminder, be kind to yourself, be patient with yourself, and be kind to others, be patient with others. We are all in this together. This is your journey, but we are all in this journey together as well. So I hope to see you guys soon, and I'll talk to you later. Bye guys. If this is your first time here and you want to get weekly English what kind of lessons? Because I want to talk to you guys today about what some of this thing keeps falling on my knee. Let's change that. That didn't sound good. Oops. So, where was I? Oh yeah, stuck between a rock and a hard place. So, I completely forgot what I was saying. I completely lost my train of thought. No, I just can't.